Hi friends. I wanted to talk about something that I saw on the internet this week multiple times. It's a picture from a children's book, a picture of Jesus. And he says, I'm going to the river to be baptized, to have my sins washed away. And in multiple different pages and different places, people are discussing the theology of this, that Jesus is the Son of God, Jesus is perfect and sinless, he doesn't have sins to be washed away. And I'm not here to discuss the point of that book, but the discussions that followed about this, and I use the word discussion lightly, were not things that I would share with any child, teenager, or frankly grown-up. It is also important to note that this debate that these people were having was about a book that was written over 10 years ago. And that picture was not from the published book. That was from an early draft where people, the publisher said, we actually want this changed before it was published. So that page where Jesus says, I'm going to have my sins washed away, was never actually published in this book. And yet, the outrage people felt about this. Now, I'm one that feels really strongly about theology in kids' books, so I get it. But the way that people were talking to each other was just absolutely unbelievable. And I guess now in 2024, I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but my goodness. And I get there are some things in this world that we feel really, really passionately about. But one, I can pretty much guarantee that arguing with a stranger on the internet is probably not going to change their mind. And I can pretty much guarantee that calling them names and saying horrible things about who they are and where their church is and who their church is and who their parents are and their teachers, it was absolutely just a terrible display of humanity. And I just kept thinking, where would Jesus land on this one? Would he care so much, be so outraged that someone said that he needed to be baptized to have his sins washed away, that he is ready to take down anyone who's going to take that stance? Or is there going to be a loving discussion? And I get it's the internet. There's not going to be a loving discussion there. But the name calling and just the cruelty, the absolute cruelty. And it's something that I've heard lots of content creators talking about, that not only in their comments on their page, but especially in their direct messages, these private messages, that some of the most cruel, threatening messages they get are from people who have Bible verses on their profiles. That these are the people who are sending them threats that the world would be better without them in it because of what they are teaching, because they disagree so strongly with that. And so, we talk to our children, we talk to our teenagers all the time about their digital footprint. And I think that sometimes they might be doing a better job than the grown-ups. I'm just, when you think about if you were to no longer have access to your social media, if something happens to you and your legacy, your social media, somebody is in your direct messages, what does that say about who you are? And are you proud of that? Because some of the messages people are sending, and again, it might be in the name of defending their faith, but some of these are so unkind, so cruel, and just downright threatening. So anyway, just your friendly reminder, just like I tell the teenagers, you have a digital footprint that stays with you both publicly and in private messages. So if you're feeling yourself fired up, it might be time to take a step away. And if it's something that you feel passionately about, maybe a discussion in real life where we can choose kindness, where we can see the humanity in the other person as a child of God and show some love that way. Have a good week, friends.